All right, welcome students to PAD 4232. This is going to be an introduction to the class. We'll go over the syllabus, we'll go over accessing the book, and talk a little bit about how the assignments will run. I'm going to go ahead and say up front, this is going to be a busy class. You will have a lot going on. It is not front loaded or back loaded, it is loaded. So I just want to let you know that this is a busy class. You will do a lot of writing in this class. There will be very little quiz action in this class. It is a lot of writing. We will have a midterm that'll be a traditionally structured exam, but then everything else will be writing assignments, your final included in that. All right, so this class is grant development. What you're going to be doing in this class is working toward the development of a grant proposal where you're seeking to get a grant. The class is designed to get you used to that. So this is a class to build that type of mental muscle to get you to the point where you can write a grant proposal. I've had students that have gone on from this class and use what they've learned in this class to work on proposals for different projects they had going and different programs they were working within. All right, so I'm Alan Thornton, your professor for the class, and I have a JM, a Juris Master's from Liberty University, and an MBA in Finance from Ashland University, and I'm a proud graduate of Santa Fe College. Graduated from the OM program in 2017. So actually, some of the professors you're going to have, or you've already had, they were my professors too. This class was one that I took, I think, 2 professors ago for this class. Now, with this, I took this class. I believe it was toward the end of my time in the OM program. Some things have changed since then. The fundamentals of how the course is designed has changed. I've kind of rebuilt the course, taught this in the fall of last year and completely rebuilt the course. It kind of was given to me last minute and rebuilt it, and did not have a course textbook or any of that. So based off of what we did the last time, we now have a course textbook. And it is written by some guy with the same name as me, has the same exact degrees as me. And it's just, but you have open access to it. It is a brand new book, and you have open access to it. It is being published, it is being worked on, but it is not through the full stages of, looking it over editorial and stuff like that. So, we're going to be using it, and improvements will be made, if any need to be made, as we're going through this. But the book is Grant Development, Funding Programs and Projects by me. And you have the link to it in the course. It is on Pressbooks right now. So to be in this class, you've probably taken GEB 3213 and MAN 3025. The course is designed to help you in communication and management skills. And the website, of course, is Canvas. It is not Open Canvas anymore. They have changed the assistance on this. I just did not get it changed on this syllabus when I was getting it uploaded. We'll update that and put that out there for you so that you know who to use. Matter of fact, we'll see that here in a few minutes when we look at the course a little bit. So how things are weighted. Writing assignments are 20% of your grade. Your midterm is 20% of your grade. Then your grant proposal, the final that you'll submit, will be 40%. And final 10% is the quizzes that you'll do. Those quizzes, and then 10% from discussion posts. The quizzes you'll submit, not technically quizzes. You're going to submit study questions that are at the end of each chapter, along with the discussions. We'll talk about that when we get into it. As we look at the first chapter of the book, we'll kind of go through that just to get you through. I'm not going to lecture so much on that first chapter because it's just an introduction of telling you what a grant is and those type of things. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I'll discuss a little bit of it, but not a lot of time there. tried not to make this a super long video for you. But that is how the grades break down. It's your bulk of your grade will come from your grant proposal, the final that you'll turn in. Your writing assignments, we'll begin these writing assignments in the second half of the term. So after the midterms, when the writing assignments pick up and we start doing those, you'll have your midterm prior to that, and then those quizzes discussion posts will kind of carry you through till we get to that point. You won't have any more quizzes. There won't be any more quiz questions or study questions once we get past the midterm. We'll just be referring to the book then as we do each section of the grant proposal. And how you will do that, and these are just the same thing you see at the end of every syllabus. They're part of the integrity, academic integrity, and accessibility statements that are part of Santa Fe College and what we do there. All right, so I'm going to close this out and stop sharing that for a second. You'll see me up close for a few seconds, and then we'll go back into the share. All right. So let's get to the class itself. All right, so when you open up the class, this is what you should see. And I am going to move me out of the way so I can get to the student view where you can see what is there. All right, so the student view opens up to the home page the same. Announcements will be pinned to the top. The three most recent announcements will be pinned up there. You'll have a course summary here that talks about everything that's going to be done is going to be due on the 18th. So this week you have the chapter 1 discussion, introductions, your chapter 1 questions, and your syllabus quiz. And you'll notice that that's fairly common other than introductions and syllabus quiz. Each chapter has a discussion and questions that you will turn in when we get through that. And we'll do the exact same thing all the way up to the midterm. Once we get past the midterm, then we're going to start building your grant proposal. And what you'll notice here, there are different sections. The first steps, you'll submit items for that. You'll talk about who you are and who your organization you're working with. We'll discuss developmental assets. That's actually a discussion post. And then we'll go over what those are. Needs section, your problem statement. We're going to spend some time going over the budget. We'll spend a week of nothing but looking at the budget and how the budget needs to work and what it should look like. You'll submit a draft of your budget at this point. Then the following week will be the draft of your grant proposal. You'll submit that draft for me to look over, and I will give you pointers or whatever for your final proposal to be submitted at the end of the term. This is a summer course, so it is a shorter term. Keep that in mind. It's always going to be a little bit shorter in the summers. I took a lot of summer classes. I fully understand what those are like. Let's look at this through the modules. The class is set up in modules. All right, so the very first module is introduction and syllabus. That is your grant development textbook. You can access it through here. If you click there, it'll open right to it. It'll take you right to the introduction. We'll come back to that here in a second. After we look over the module, we'll look over module 1 real quick and then kind of go from there. All right, so that tells you your syllabus quiz. You also have a link to an APA lecture. This is a link that is on lectures on YouTube. Please go in and view it because you will be using APA style citation for everything you write in this class. All right, so make sure you're going in and looking that over. It goes into detail pretty good. I've used it in several classes. If you've been in one of my classes, if you've been maybe BUL 3130, then you have seen this lecture, and it's good to review it again because, as you know, I'm a stickler for getting that citation right. So make sure that you're looking that over. For those of you, this is your first time, I do pay attention to citation and how it's set up. So make sure that you're doing that if you've never been in one of my classes. I know there are a few students in this one that have been in the business law and ethics class also. All right, so we've looked at the syllabus, we've looked at these first assignments, the lecture, then your discussions and questions we're going to go into when we get into the textbook itself. So let's go ahead and get started. I won't go through the introduction with you. I'll let you read over that. No reason for me to strain your ears with that, but this is going to be the first chapter of the book. And we start off with a very simple question. What is a grant? So what are we doing here? A grant is a way for you to request or apply for funds from an organization, which could be a government or private entity. Okay, so that's the first line or third line in the book, tells you what a grant is. The reason that we apply for grants is because normally we can't pay for what we need to do out of pocket. All right, so if we are starting an after school program where we're going to help students with, children with homework, and we're going to try to make sure they have a good, decent meal after school, whatever it may be, whatever type of program we're working on. We need funds. You need money to do that, and you can get donations. You can put money out of pocket. You can have bake sales. You can do whatever, sell trinkets, whatever it may be. But one of the best ways to fund a program, especially if it's a program geared toward working with children, and the program that you'll build as we go through this will be in some way tied to a work with youth age 13 to 18 is kind of the area we're gonna look at. So when we think about what those grants are and how they work, it's similar to how some of you may be paying for school. You may have a Pell Grant. That's money that you get to go to school, and you don't have to pay that Pell Grant back. It is a grant. It's given to you. It's granted to you. It's yours. So you may get loans to help out with the program, and someone may give you money that they, may expect something in return. A grant, when you receive a grant and you're funded by a grant, that is money that's given to you freely to do as you have told them you would do with it according to your program. And we'll get into, as we go through this, rules and regulations and the pieces that you need as far as following the structure that the grantor has set up, no matter whoever that grantor is, what they've set up, what they said they will fund, how to make sure that your program or project aligns with what they're looking at. We're going to do those type of things. And as we go through this, and when we get ready to start with the building that proposal, you'll get a description of the grantor that you're going to be writing to, and you can gear it toward that. So a lot of putting in for these grants is understanding the grantors, understanding what they're going through. All right. And that's how we work. So some of the grants that you can apply for, things like research grants and education grants, they are designed for what they say. I mean, it's real simple. If it's an education grant, guess what? They're probably not going to pay for a sports program. They're paying for educational stuff. If it's research, they're probably not going to pay for you to do field trips to the zoo. They want research done. That's probably not one you're going to put in for some of the programs like we'll talk about in the course. All right. So those are, they're set up in a certain way. We'll talk about these different grants, discretionary grants and block grants, and what a matching grant is. We'll go over those as we go through this. Okay. So, but read through this first chapter to get yourself acclimated to it. This is what I want to get to as far as your assignments go. And this is where we'll line this up at. So we're not, spending a ton of time in this. So at the end of each chapter, you're going to see discussion prompts and chapter review questions. Now, they may be named different in a chapter, but they're going to be similar to what you're doing. You have 3 discussion prompts in this chapter, and that's 3 in each one of those in every chapter. You'll pick one of these for your discussion. You'll pick one of these discussion prompts, and you will answer it, doing research on it, basing it out of the book. What does the book say about it? What are some of the challenges? What, how those work? And then you'll build a discussion. You'll post a discussion in Canvas in a tab under that discussion. And when you do that, you'll, put it, your post in, and then you'll reply to one classmate. I only require your reply to one classmate because we're a small class. There's 10 of y'all, if I'm not mistaken, unless we've added one student since the last time I looked this morning. There were 10. So it's not a large class to require everyone to respond to two. You could be having to wait till the last minute to try to get in. And so it's a lot easier. We just say, you respond to one, and it doesn't matter if they agree with you, they pick the same question as you. I'm not particular about that. Just that, respond to one classmate. My biggest rule for these discussions and anything I do, any class I teach, is that the discussions are civil. This is not a time to argue. This is not a time, to have a full-on debate and to try to just beat someone over the head with your way of thinking and your ideas. This is a time where you're just discussing. Discussing does not mean arguing. No matter what society may look like nowadays, discussion is not argument. Okay, so keep that in mind. I do frown upon that and will fail you for that assignment if in your replies it seems that you are being argumentative instead of discussing. The next assignment that you always will have for this book and the 7 chapters will be these chapter review questions. So basically, it's asking you, what is a grant? Well, that first one's pretty easy. A financial reward for specific purposes. All right, and you'll go through these questions, you'll answer them, and you can copy that. So she'll be able to copy and paste the question. You'll copy and paste the question and answers onto, and the answer you choose. You don't have to put every possible answer, just the answer you choose. So you'll copy the question. So question number 3, and what's essential when applying for government grants? Ignoring guidelines. That's not the answer. Okay. But, if that's the one you picked, you would copy it and place it under it. All right. So make sure that you're following that. So you'll do all of these. There's 10 in each chapter. And these will prepare you for when we get to the midterm, because the midterm will be built based upon similar questions, not these exact questions, but similar questions. Okay, so that covers your assignments. For this point, I'm not going to go deep into what the assignments will be for the second half because we will spend time discussing each one of those as we get to it. All right, so those will be discussed at that point. So look over this first chapter. What I do ask, because this is a new book, and if you find, typos, you find, things that just seem like it's not out of place or it doesn't make sense, reach out to me so I can look at it and see if there's something that needs clarified or whatever. If you help me out here and I see that you're, if you point out something that really needs fixed and would really just mess up the whole thing, I'll give you a thank you at the end of the book when it gets published. You'll be in there as a special thanks for helping me out, if that's what you want. But look it over, go through it, read it. If you have any questions as you're going through it that pertain to the assignments, please reach out to me. You can always reach out to me to set up a Zoom if you need to. When we get ready to start doing the proposals, about halfway through those, it'll probably be a good idea to reach out to touch base, especially if the feedback that I'm giving you is not, if it's saying that there's a lot of work that needs to be done. A lot of people, when we get to the budgets, when they start running into issues, but make sure that you're doing that and kind of following the instructions that are given for each assignment. They're real simple as far as the your discussion posts go. They're not too awful difficult. We'll even open up the first one and look at it. So chapter 1 discussion. Chapter 1 discussion. You will, for this discussion post, you'll choose one of the discussion topics in the chapter. What I was just telling you about. Your initial post will be 500 words, and then your one reply will be 250 words. So at least 750 words written for this assignment. Get that writing muscle going. Okay. So if you haven't had a writing class, a heavy writing class recently, you need to wake it up. This will help you get it woke up. Any citations you do, you'll need to cite from the chapter at least twice, and any outside citations are APA style. So make sure you go back and look at that APA style citation and get those assignments turned in. You have this one and the questions to be turned in the end of the week, plus your syllabus quiz and the introduction. I count your attendance based upon the syllabus quiz. So make sure you're getting that syllabus quiz in, because if you are running or doing your schoolwork based upon a grant, and you're going to college on a grant, you have to attend. You have to have done some type of academic assignment in this first week to be shown as attending. All right. So, any other questions you have, anything that you think just comes to mind, reach out to me. The book is accessible. You can go through it. There's not any chapters locked or anything like that that'll keep you from being able to see the chapters as they come up. There is also a PowerPoint with each chapter that you'll have here till we get to chapter 6. Chapter 6 and 7 are really just refresh chapters. They kind of go in more detail about some important points. But there's a PowerPoint for these first 5, and beginning in chapter 2, the PowerPoint is what I will use for the lectures in the class, and they will be similar to this. You'll get a link to YouTube where you can go in and watch it. All right, so until the next time, stay safe and study hard.